How's it going, guys? Jimmy here with Kyle. If you guys saw, we got a ton of new Keitech in, and we were talking a little bit about how to rig them, so a couple different ways. And we kind of wanted to do a more in-depth video and give you guys some of our favorite ways to rig them and just some simple ways and tips to help you out.
Absolutely. So another item we got in fairly recently is going to be these Oka shear heads from Megabass, and conveniently they are the perfect head to rig with our new 3-inch Easy Shiner. So I just picked out the smallmouth magic color here, and I'm just going to show you how to rig it on this jig head here. It's got a unique keeper, so once you rig it, you got to do something a little bit different with it. So what I do always is I'm going to take my jig head and measure exactly where my hook's going to come out of the back of that plastic. I'm going to mark it with my thumb and remember that spot. So I'm just going to come straight through the head of this plastic, trying to stay as straight as possible, and feed it right on and come right out the center of the back. Again, trying to stay as straight as possible so it'll swim straight. So we're going to feed it straight on. And then with this plastic keeper, you're going to want to take your thumb and just press down on the top of the plastic to get it to snug up. Now we've got a nice presentation here. It's going to swim super straight and look as natural as possible. I like to work this in a variety of ways. Number one being a straight retrieve. Again, the other way, and more of a cold water technique, I'm just going to bounce this off the bottom. So let it cast out. I'm going to strip some line. I'm going to let it sink straight down, kicking all the way down, and then I'm just going to lift it up gently and let it swing back down to the bottom. It's just a nice finessey presentation for cold water. Sometimes it draws non-active bites from fish. The next thing we've got, we're going to have these Keitech tungsten swim jigs. These have a unique keeper as well, so I'll show you how to rig these guys. These are intended for the Keitech 4.8 swing impact fats. So we've got those right here in a smoky electric shad color. So this has a unique screw lock going on here. So the skirt is connected to the screw. So when you feed these on, guys, number one, the most important thing is going to be that you want to bunch the plastic up and press it into the screw as you screw. So you're just going to press hard and start to rotate. And then as you do it again, press hard and rotate all the way up. And as you do that, it's going to bunch the plastic and give you the best connection to the keeper. That way you're not losing your plastic or getting your head ripped off right away. So after we do that, we're going to once again measure where that's going to come through the back, and we're just going to come straight through the belly and out the back, just like that. And now we've got a nice weedless swim jig. Jimmy's going to show you guys how to rig one of these 4.8s on a weedless hook.
Yeah, so I really like fishing just a simple weighted swim bait hook. Same kind of concept as Kai was saying. You're going to kind of grab the plastic by the head, kind of push it onto that screw lock as you start to spin, and then just kind of spin it on all the way. The thing with these weighted swim bait hooks is a lot of them will have, unscrew this a little, that tiny opening right there. I definitely like to screw my plastic just past that just to make sure nothing funky happens with my line or anything. So I'll get it like that. Another important thing with these is you want your plastic to be straight on the hook. So I'll actually hold it like this and then twist it a little bit to get the body of the plastic straight in line with the hook. That way it wants to naturally sit like that. So right there looks about straight with me. The body's in line. As you can see, the tail's a good way to keep an indicator. And then same thing Kyle was talking about, we're just gonna figure out where that goes. These Keitechs are nice too because usually, as you can see, this hook point's kind of locked in between two ribs. So if you just mark that rib with your thumb, come in from the bottom, and then you want to come as clean, just straight up and down as you can, poke it out the top, same deal. Run that straight through grass, all around trees, and you're not gonna snag. Another thing with either using this style or this style, if you push your plastic up a little bit and kind of push that hook point in a tiny bit like that, you can see I can run my finger over that. That will keep that even locked in a little bit better. It's called text posing, and there's just a little bit of plastic that's holding that point in, so you're not going to hit anything on that. Couple other options, moving over to the 7.8, just 3 different rigging options. I mentioned it in the video and I had to pull it out. 1.5 ounce A-dot HDGI, especially this color. I think that's just going to be awesome on there, especially on the fall. This is a heavy plastic with a lot of drag, so it's going to go super slow on the fall, and that tail is going to kick extremely wide and draw those strikes. Titan Riders from BKK, these are the ones I've been messing around with. Same thing, this bait weighs about 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces, so you can throw it on a unweighted hook like this. This hook matches really nicely too because it has these little sliders. What you do is you rig it the same exact way as you rigged that 4.8, but then you'll take this little slider piece and slide it into the belly slot of the plastic. That way, if you're bumping up against stuff, This one you can see slides down. If you have that plastic stopper, it'll help prevent that a little bit more until the fish bites. Same thing, BKK. This is the Titan Rider. This is the Titan Diver. Just has a weight on it. These are cool too because they actually come with 2 weights and you can swap them out really easily with these little silicone clips. They also have a blade on there too. But these, I don't know, these are really cool just because you can switch the weights out very easily.
You can take the flash off there as well.
Yep, yeah.
So alter it to the current fishing situations on the water as you go.
And you can run no weight on that too. If you want to buy one, I would buy that because you can fish it without a weight also.
And these are BKK guys, so those hooks are really heavy. That'll weigh down your plastic on its own.
So last we got the little spiders and the jigs, the tungsten jigs. This one, so it happens that the little spider pairs pretty perfectly with the Model 2, so you don't really need to trim your skirt. Usually when I'm jig fishing, I will cut my skirt down just a little bit to make sure that the jig skirt isn't interfering with the tentacles. If it's all in there, you're not going to have any action as you're trying to drag through the water. But same kind of thing as the others. Going to kind of hold the jig upside down by the hook just to get that skirt out of my way. I'm going to kind of pinch the skirt back with my fingers, and then I'm going to come in through the plastic. Same thing, you can kind of mark to where you want to come out. Bring it in, go down, then poke it out. Same thing, you just want to thread this thing on all the way up past the keeper, and then you got your jig just like that. And as you can see, my skirt doesn't hang below my tentacles or my little flappers. If it did, I would cut this down a little bit, but this one is going to run perfectly fine how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing to note on these guys is as you're working these, it's going to be kind of a dead action with how thin these little flappers are here. And that, again, is all completely everything you want for winter fishing, right? So as we're still fishing these jigs through the cold water and until the water warms up, and we turn our lakes and bodies of water, this dull action is going to do everything we need down there on its own. So the beauty of these Keitech jigs is the way that the skirt flows and the skirt on the grub flares out that skirt. You don't even have to work this jig. It's going to be down there pulsating on its own with the current of the water, and it'll draw strikes on its own. So that's the secondary action of this jig, which I think is really, really important when you're fishing in kind of unkind weather circumstances.
So yeah, that's kind of the basics, scratching the surface. We'd love to talk to you guys more, as I said earlier. You can come in and get some secret tips and tricks from us too, maybe some different rigging options, but this is kind of the basics that'll get you started, get you a little bit more comfortable with Keitech. But yeah, come check everything out, and if you have any questions, we'll be here.
Thanks, guys.